Champions Cup Final 2024, folks. Toulouse up against Leinster, and once again for Leinster, it's a losing final. This time against Toulouse. Toulouse, it's another star for that jersey. Absolute battle of the breakdown. The breakdown in this one was unbelievable. No try scored in regular time. 15 points apiece come full time. We need extra time to settle it. There's a yellow card, there's a red card, there's tries in extra time. It's a pretty crazy game. I'm pretty bleary-eyed because the game started at 1:45 and it's now 4:50 because we had extra time. But we'll go through some key events and some stats and you guys can let us know your thoughts. But in a nutshell, I feel like Leinster maybe needed to take some shots at goal. Multiple times in this game, Leinster go for touch and come away with bugger all. Toulouse, ferocious at the breakdown, often getting penalties, and often slotting those kicks. That being said, despite all that, Leinster could have had this in the last moment if they'd managed to hit a drop goal. So it's kind of hard to be too harsh on them, because as I said, they were one drop goal away from getting it done right before we went to extra time, but not to be. And then you got Dupont, who gets man of the match, who was just winning turnovers, kicking 50-22s. He was genuinely nuts. But yes. Some of the key events, there's a lot of them. I've taken a stupid amount of notes. We won't go through everything because we'll be here all day because we did have extra time. But I mean, it started with a hiss and a roar. Good atmosphere at the stadium. You got Dupont and Gibson Park being the kind of high billing in this match of these two world's best nines. Gibson Park tackles Dupont into touch as he's throwing a try-scoring offload. So Toulouse denied early. Gibson Park getting the better of that battle, I suppose. But Toulouse getting the first points on the game. 2 penalties. Kinghorn slots both of them. So 6-0 after less than 10 minutes. And then Leinster start going for touch. First attempt, we do see Leinster get the ball eventually after going to touch to Lowe, who gets a break. If he's able to get his pass to Gibson Park, Leinster probably score. But the pass from Lowe, from that break to the support run of Gibson Park, doesn't find Gibson Park, so it's a missed opportunity. Nothing comes from Leinster. The next time Leinster maul it, we end up with a cross kick to Sheehan. Jenkins has a carry but ends up knocking it on, so kind of second missed chance for Leinster. Eventually, when they get a third chance, Leinster do opt for the 3. So, yeah, kind of banging their head against that Toulouse defence, couldn't crack it, so they opt for 3, so it's 6-3. And for Toulouse, Peter Arquis going off on 22 minutes justifies the selection of 3 backs on the bench for sure. We had a great chance for Dan Sheehan when he ripped the ball out of Dupont's hands. He's one of the fastest hookers in world rugby, goes bloody close, but Kinghorn runs him down, and then Dupont wins a penalty at the breakdown, so kind of a bit of an escape effort from Toulouse. And then Dupont kicks an insane 50-22 from the back of a ruck, pinpoint accuracy from the resulting scrum not long later. Toulouse were able to kick a penalty, so 9 points to 3. And then Rossbird mucks up the restart, which is not great, which kind of later on leads to a Toulouse penalty, but Kinghorn does push that one wide, so kind of not punished. Leinster did manage to get themselves 3 points back right before half-time. Toulouse conceding a penalty, Doris having a big carry, Jenkins having a big carry. But yeah, 6 points to 9 at half-time. But I feel like Leinster won't be happy with 6 points to 9 at half-time. They had 60% possession, 59% territory, double the run meters, 251 to 121, double the clean breaks, 2-1. They'd made Toulouse make 72 tackles to 35. But they had conceded 8 penalties to Toulouse's 6 and knocked it on 6 times to Toulouse's 3. So a little bit lacking clinical edge. And I feel like sometimes in the final, just take the shot. Just take the kicks. Toulouse were doing it. It's easy for me to sit here in hindsight and take the shots. But sometimes you take the shots. Like after the maul was not going full steam ahead, sometimes just keep the scoreboard ticking over, man. Make the advantage of that territorial and possession pressure. Second half, Leinster once again go for touch. They lose a line out. The next time they get a chance, they opt for the 3. So maybe learning that lesson. I don't know. 9 points apiece. They go for touch again, though, not long later. I write the note, bloody hell, how many times now? The maul gets stopped and it leads to a Toulouse scrum. So really kind of failing to break them down. But where they did put Toulouse under a bit more pressure was under those high balls. Kinghorn in the start of the second half ended up fluffing one. And then Ramos, when he came on, ended up kind of having a few issues there as well. They had another chance with Gibson Park with a support line when Porter had kind of a wee half break, but he just couldn't free the arms to get it to the support line of Gibson Park. So Gibson Park could have had 2 tries, but neither time they were able to finish it off. And then Toulouse, who've been under pressure for the start of the second half, with their first kind of like 5+ phases move, end up forcing Leinster to concede a penalty. So 12 points to 9, they slot that one. Although a hobbling Ross Byrne is able to kick one back not too long later. So it's 12 points apiece. But honestly, the breakdown in this game is insane. Like, Jack Willis gets a crazy turnover. Both sides are getting turnovers, but certainly you feel like Toulouse is putting a bit more feeling into some of those breakdowns. Kinghorn had a good run at one point. Cross kick to LaBelle. Looks to be potentially a try, but Jordan Lama tackles him into touch, which is a great bit of defensive play. But another Leinster penalty conceded this time, which was a Toulouse midfield maul. Means it's 15-12. Toulouse back in front. That'll be their final scoring before we get to extra time. Leinster were chasing the game, having to save it. They got it from a big scrum on 76 minutes. Frawley with the kind of ice in his veins to slot that one over. I think it was his first kick of the game. 15 points apiece with not long to play. Ramos dropped a high ball on 79 minutes. Leinster went through the phases. They had Frawley in the pocket with all the time in the world. Drop goal shot goes wide. That was a genuine chance to win the game. Yeah, that one is going to be brutal on the replay. But yeah, drop goals are hard, man. What can I say? We head into extra time. James Lowe gets himself yellow carded for a deliberate knock-on a Dupont pass. Ramos takes a shot at goal to punish the yellow card, but it's wide. I don't like deliberate knock-ons, but the way rugby rules it, you stick one hand out, you touch the ball, you're going to get carded. So that's what happens with James Lowe. So it's the first kind of card of the game. But as I said, not punished immediately with the missed shot at goal, but they certainly punished it with the first try of the game to Toulouse. LaBelle's the guy who ends up finishing. It starts on the other wing when Frawley has to shoot up to cover James Lowe's left wing spot as Kinghorn's going down the right wing for Toulouse. They shut down the Toulouse boys, but then as Toulouse shifted left, they just can't get across and cover, and LaBelle has got the gas to go over the line. 22 points to 15, and then another Dupont, 50-22, means maul, which means advantage, and 25-15. 10 points scored during the yellow card, 10-point lead, we're into extra time. That feels like it should be enough, but it's not over because Richie Arnold, the other Arnold, he gets himself red carded for a clean out on Ken Healy. It's shoulder to head. One angle looked not too bad, but one angle looked real bad. So he ends up getting red carded. James Lowe comes back on, and Leinster finally are able to break that Toulouse goal line defence. 10 phases, and Josh van der Fleer is able to go over after an eternity of a TMO call. They find the grounding, so it is 25-22. As we head into the second half of extra time, Leinster have got an extra man for 10 minutes. You feel like they should have the better of it, but no. It's the bloody breakdown again, which proves decisive. Penalty at the breakdown conceded. It kind of starts when Keenan just catches the ball too close to the touchline and gets his feet on the line. So that kind of concedes the territorial and possession battle, which means, Leinster having to defend. Doris concedes the penalty at the breakdown. So then Ramos just sneaks it in the side of the post. And then Healy gets isolated a minute later. Penalty conceded for not releasing. So it goes from 28-22 to 31-22. That's the final score of the game. Frawley did miss a last-minute drop goal again to at least give Leinster a shot to chase down the final score, but not to be. So it's another start for Toulouse. It's another final for Leinster. Like I said, questions will be asked, but they came about as close as you can get to winning a game as you can get with that missed drop goal. So, yeah. I mentioned some stats, man. The turnovers won is 13-7. 13 turnovers won in a game. I know there's extra time, but that is insane. That is absolutely, for mine, the key stat where this game is won, along with the kind of point scoring goal kicking from Toulouse. Toulouse had to make more tackles, 238 to 129. They tackled at a higher percentage, well, 91% to 87. They had more clean breaks to lose 3-5, despite the fact that Leinster had more possession, 58%, more territory, 59%, more run meters, 605 to 384. Penalties conceded was 15-16. Matt Carley, he blows his whistle. Kind of what he does. Doris ends up with 14 from 14 tackles. Lowe cracks 100 run meters. But honestly, it's about Dupont, isn't it? Man of the match. 4 turnovers won, the most in the game. 6 defenders beaten. I mean, Jack Willis had 29 out of 31 tackles, which is also incredible. But, yeah. There you go. I need to go to bed because it is now 5 o'clock in the morning. You guys let us know your thoughts on the game. Commiserations, Leinster fans. Still in the search of that 5th star. Well done, Toulouse. Breakdown work was incredible. If the Challenge Cup final was all about the scrum, for mine, this one was about the breakdown. You guys let us know your thoughts. Buy me a coffee down in the description. I need one when I wake up in a few hours. But yeah, you guys take care, and I will talk to you guys again soon. See you later.